We're back.
Hello.
Oh, we can hear you now?
You can hear me now?
Yeah!
Hey.
I was pensing out and having a heart attack backstage. I could see you, and I was like, oh no! But you're here, Jamie.
Yeah, I made it. I survived. Ooh.
Good.
I haven't got a nude, but I have been saving this bottle since my birthday, and I wanted to crack it open and have a toast to you guys for such a stellar effort.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, right. So I think I need some Dutch courage to get through this Q&A. So I'm going to settle for a second.
It matches my
I got a
glass.
bottle of water. Cheers.
Oh, right. Cheers, guys.
No
Yaki
fucking
da.
around, straight from the skull, buddy.
All right.
Oops, I just dumped that in your thing. Sorry.
That's
This
awesome.
is my first drink of the whole festival, so
Hey.
I'm a little behind.
could've
I'm saving
gone.
mine for another hour.
That could have gone epically wrong. Drinking straight vodka. I was like, oh no.
we would have appreciated it.
I know. Well,
That's good.
if Dan Aykroyd happens to be watching and is looking for a devilishly handsome spokesperson, my schedule could be freed up.
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
Good plug there.
Can you get my phone?
Yeah.
Oh, we do.
Do we get right into it? Okay.
Let's get right into
all
it, Jamie.
All right, go. Let's get started. First of all, right off the bat, not too many Stephen King Dollar Baby films are in black and white. Why did you choose to do this particular story in black and white? And it looked beautiful, by the way. And what attracted you to this story?
Well, right. That's a whole long story. Well, kind of long story. I was attracted to the story simply because of like the title. I hadn't even read the story when I applied for it, which is kind of like judging a book by its cover. It's something you should never do. I don't advise anybody to ever do that. I was freelancing for a media production company, and they'd done a feature that was titled a very like a thin place, and the title similarity just amused me. And like I applied, and it was
All right, and then as far as filming it in black and white, why did you choose to do it in black and white?
Oh yeah, the black and white. Well, we had a lot of pre-production problems with this production. So there was kind of like people wanted to kind of co-opt creative control, so the project was like starved of resources, to the point where like you only get a year to do like a Dollar Baby, and it came to the point where we only had like a couple of weeks left. And so we had originally we were going to use like a red camera and all the cinematic lenses, and all the kit was being provided by Aberystwyth University, but we failed to crowdfund for a budget like 3 times, and we didn't even have enough money to pay for the insurance for the kit that we had booked. So what we had to do was like change things up a bit. So instead of using the cinematic cameras that we wanted, I decided to go with like a multicam setup using fixed lenses. And day one, we kind of like set out, and we tried using like the fixed lens cameras, like cinema cameras, and the rushes looked terrible. So we kind of got together and we decided we needed to change tact, and we needed to try and like turn our weakness into a strength. And that's when we decided to apply like the Lars von Trier kind of like effect. And then, so instead of like filming it like a film, we were filming it like it was real life. And then like we were talking about Aronofsky's like Pi from 1998, which was like an influence on the grading. And like Clerks is like a massive one of my faves. Like now, I'm a big Kevin Smith nut.
So are we over here.
We are too.
I know if he's watching, and he might be looking for like a Buddy Christ in a Dogma 2. I'd be very willing for that. I'm just saying. I think I've got the look, yeah.
I love
you
it.
plug away
I love
everywhere
it.
that you need to, my friend.
Yeah.
I do. People from Twitter are really going crazy over this question because they're obviously as fucked up as the rest of us. But can you please confirm that this was not real poop?
Yeah, it was not real poop. It was like coffee grounds, and because everything had to be all natural, so it was in contact with the skin, and then the vomity stuff was like soup and all sorts. Yeah, there was different types of poops. There was like the ones that were slightly more dried, and then we had the more moist poops. There was like a whole shit array, really.
That's fantastic.
Wow. The poop scale.
That's right. How are you eating?
Oh man. I gotta say, one of my favorite scenes in your film is the bathtub scene. Your lead actress looks like she just went all out and was just having a ball during that scene. Go into a little bit more detail about that whole scene, filming that.
Yeah, Ali was like fantastic, and she actually took over a lot of the directing responsibilities because, like, I don't like being like an authoritarian figure. That's not really kind of like what I wanted to do, because I like the writing and the producing side of things, and kind of had other people on board to try and get the thing going to begin with. But then Ali really kind of like came through at the end, and she was like fantastic. There's actually like a little tidbit, like the portaloo, the essential like prop that we needed for the whole film, which kind of underpins like the whole thing. We didn't even have like money for that, so like originally, yeah, I know, yeah, it was like wow, like we had like a company that were willing to give us the portaloo for free, but through other people that wanted to do something different. They wanted to like film in a swimming pool and do stuff in a studio, and so the cast and crew, like, we wanted to do things like a different way, and we ended up kind of like rallying at the last kind of like minute and just kind of doing it in our own terms. And yeah, the portaloo though, Ali like approached her like ex, who's actually actor. I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for saying this. Actor Tom Hollander gave us the £200 that we needed for the portaloo.
That's great.
Yeah, it was cool.
Speaking of locations, where exactly was, because some of your scenes in the film are just beautiful, even though they're black and white, but they're just, as far as the location stuff is beautiful. Where was it filmed specifically, and what country exactly is this in?
Well, it was all filmed in Wales, in like Ceredigion. A lot of it was filmed in like the Hafod estate. It's like a nature reserve. It's a really beautiful area. I'm quite lucky to like live in such a great place. I had originally wanted, because like the original story is set in Florida. There is like a place near here called Strata, Florida, which is like an abbey that dates from like I'm not sure. It's a very old and beautiful abbey. I kind of wanted to use that as a location in the film, but yeah, that didn't happen. That would have been a nice nod to the original story.
So I know that you've been tweeting along with us all weekend. You've been you've made some really lofty claims about specific things. Are you ready? You know where this is going. Are you ready for your Dairy Public Radio haiku?
Ooh, well, it's going to be tattooed on me, so yeah, go on then.
Are you sure? Like, I mean, this is really honestly your last chance to back out of that claim, Jamie. Like, they're not fucking around here.
They're ready.
They're
Go
ready.
for it, man.
Okay. Let's just read it. Did he freeze, or he's just like frozen?
I think he did. Yeah.
No.
Or he's really thinking. There he goes.
Oh, I'm back.
Okay, I didn't read it yet. Yeah. I was giving you your last chance to back out of this because it's a pretty serious haiku.
Ooh, it's cool. Right. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Coffin of plastic, left to die alone, but wait, shitters won't stop me. We give Vinton's lot 5 out of 5 blue chambray shirts.
Yay!
you.
Honestly, I think that they get 5 out of 5 porta potties for that one. It was pretty fantastic.
Was that the poop
I
emoji?
was hoping for
You were hoping for what?
a nude shirt.
A nude
A
shirt.
nude colored shirt. Yeah. Blue's not really like my color, and I thought if like a black one, I'd just sound like a fascist. So yeah, a nude one would have been cool, but blue's all right.
Fantastic. I'll give the show back to Tony because I could just bug you about getting tattooed forever. If you do it though,
Yeah.
please like live stream it or take pictures, link us in. Like,
Oh yeah.
we want our audience to see
Yeah.
this.
Well,
We
we
gotta
don't know
see
if
it.
Stephen King tweets out about the haikus, I'll get all of them done, and the bonus ones if he does haiku himself, like gauntlet down.
No. Okay, guys.
Yeah. All right.
You have tweeted this, retweet it again, and like we'll just make all of our followers. I don't care if you don't have a Twitter account, go fucking make one. Go retweet it. We want to see the holy grail of all the haikus on Jamie's body.
Should be a hashtag. Let's talk about your inspirations. Who are your inspirations as a director, and also what was your first Stephen King book that you read?
Ooh, Kevin Smith just comes up at the top of the list, I suppose, in terms of like directors, and Frank Darabont again. My first reading of like Stephen King, I much prefer the short stories, like some of the longer like reads, like like 1,000 odd pages and stuff. Like it's too much kind of like work. I don't have the discipline. If it's something that I'm not loving, I just can't do it. My favorite Stephen King story is like The Body. I think
Yes.
in like many ways, like King is kind of been like a surrogate father figure for like so many of us, not just like as him himself, but through the characters that he's created. Particularly like Gordy in like The Body, like his like relationship of feeling alienated with his parents and the closeness he felt with his brother, and then the pain of that loss. That's something that always resonated a lot with me, and I love those coming of age tales. And it was a big kind of part of my undergrad dissertation, or one of my key references. Just love that story. Oh,
That was my first.
I wanted to
Okay. Go ahead.
say. I think well, with King's like work, I know he's like synonymous with horror, but I think his stuff is really like about like morality. It's like using kind of like darkness to kind of like show people to be kind, to be better, and that's what I kind of like take away from most of his stuff.
That's great. The question on the top of my head is gone. Oh, I know. If you had no boundaries, no limit budget, what Stephen King story would you like to direct? Free
Well,
reign.
that's an interesting one. Because of like the production issues and stuff last time, like I'm so proud that we managed to get the film made and like meet the deadline, but I kind of want another crack at the whip. So I've actually applied for a second Dollar Baby. I've applied for dedication, and I applied before seeing the film the other day. But I've been talking over it. Me kind of like backtrack slightly. Juliet, who played the masseuse in my film, she kind of caught the film bug on set, and then started a film course. Like I ended up giving her an academic reference, and now she's through her second year at uni. So if I'm lucky enough to get a second Dollar Baby, she'll be directing, and there's a nice sense of like poetic continuity there, which I think is really cool. But how I'd like to approach dedication would be a bit different. I think we were talking about kind of like transposing it into like a period piece. So kind of like setting it in like Victorian England and having the kind of like writer character as a bit of an homage to Dickens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so a bit different.
That'd be great. And what projects do you have coming up in the near future? What can you tell us about? Give us a little sneak preview.
Sneak preview. Right, here's one right here. This is these are characters from a graphic novel that I'm working on. I've got my first novella coming out. Not coming out. Well, self-publishing December. I'm working on a documentary at the moment. It's about fatherless fathers, and I'm using kind of my own irregular history as a sort of like case study. Today is actually DNA Day as well, which is like a random thing. So I grew up without parents. It sounds like strange. So I've been tracing my family line, my genetics. My mother was adopted, and I didn't have like a father. So that obviously impacted me. So one of the things that I'm doing at the moment, it's called The Man from Casablanca. My mother married like a Moroccan man when I was 2, and he was the only father figure that I ever had. And he died when I was 12, and that kind of like death impacted me a lot. And this is 20th anniversary. This year is the 20th anniversary of his death, and I don't have any photos of him. So I'm trying to track down his family and try and find them. And the only way that I'm trying to do that is using social media as like a magnet to try and draw the information out by trying to get people to talk about the man from Casablanca. As well as last week I sent DNA tests to my potential like biological father. So all kinds of interesting. And I even had traced my paternal line from Canada. Through like third cousin matches. I've got a cousin who is a professor emeritus at Toronto University, and then backtracked all the way to my hometown in Ireland. It was nuts.
Wow.
So
wow.
Yeah.
That is so interesting and heartfelt. Very heartfelt.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Leah, anything on Twitter there?
Well, I mean, everyone's still talking about how they're either talking about your fake poop or how beautiful everything looked in black and white. Like there's kind of.
I've got to give a shout out to Sam Christie, Dr. Sam, who played Tim in the film. Because like the other version of A Tight Place, like they didn't have Tim in the film, so it was like nice to have his role. I thought that was really interesting because we both kind of did like we changed the character dynamic where. Like I changed the gender, but they changed the character, swapping out like Ginny and Tim, which I thought was really fascinating. I think like watching the other version, I kind of got a feeling for what King must feel like watching all of our films. Like it's really interesting. I actually noticed that A Tight Place has been removed from the Dollar Baby like list. So I don't know if he's like hated the film so much he's like thinking like no one's ever going to make another Tight Place again. But he didn't like Shining, so it's a tough audience. But like I kind of got it into my head from the start that I'm making a film, I'm making a Stephen King film, but I'm not making a film for Stephen King. And like that was a lot of the that stemmed from a lot of the creative problems we had at the start, because a lot of the people that we were working with, they wanted to like make something specifically to please one person, and I think that's a wrong way to make a film. You will need to try and make something that has a broader sense of appeal.
Well, there's been a lot of love on here for you. Skarsking says that's, and this is in capital letters, that's how you do a badass adaptation. That's it. Bravo, with a couple of clappity claps. I love that it was black and white. That porta potty scene was disgusting. I'm sure you're going to have time after your interview to go through and see all of the amazing comments that are tagged in here.
I know I've got the day off work tomorrow to recover, so I'm in till the end. I want to see the rest of the films and stuff, and I need to find out if King was going to tweet about these haikus. Like I
made a tweet while we're sitting here. So did you? I think there's a lot of people rooting for this. So hopefully one of them gets through. Let us know if it's like not ours and it's yours.
Well, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it done at Baker Street Tattoos in Aberystwyth as well. You know, just little thing
I
for
just
the
want to say
doctor's
really
case
quick
there.
I just want to say really quick that
They can still
Dollar
hear you.
Baby
Can you
Films
still
and
hear
Red Clark of Gray Matter, he said that he's giving you a shout out. That hopes you make another film. So I just want to, and the whole Dollar Baby community is rooting for you. So that was a message that they wanted to pass on. And to
I'm
find your
also
family.
going to be. I'm also going to be selling the film rights to my own stories for 99 cents. That way, I figure I might make a buck as a screenwriter one day.
Are you going to continue to dig into your Skull vodka for the rest of the night now that it's open? I mean, or you didn't have any mix?
That reminds me. I've got the biscotti milk, and I'm going to make biscotti White Russian, and I'm just going to kick back and enjoy the rest of the night, guys.
Well, I look forward to the rest of your fucked up tweets as you get more drunk through this. That's going to be fantastic because I've been entertained the whole weekend.
I wasn't even drinking.
Sorry?
But I'd only had like one drink every night, so if I'm going through a whole bottle of Skull, like things are going to get a bit weird.
I'll retweet it, I promise. See, look at that's Norm clapping. He's all for it. He was drinking a nude like 5 hours ago.
I know. I was thinking like I don't have any nudes, but I could get nude, but I don't think the audience would really like that. So I kept my clothes on.
Hey, assuming makes an ass out of you and me. So you never know what our weird fan base likes.
Sounds like he is into it.
Well, we've got to say goodbye. Thank you so much for coming, Jamie. It's really great to have you. You take care and keep tweeting with us. And I hope that you get tattooed.
Oh, well, I'm definitely getting one. It's 1 or 30. We'll see.
Bye.
Bye.